Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here. I'm excited because this is an opportunity, as we are always in the mode of continuous quality improvement. You've been in lots of meetings in this room as we've worked on improving our quality, and that's what we continue to do. Today, I'm going to introduce to you one of those initiatives. We have contracted with Evergreen Solutions, a company who has nationwide experience with school districts and others, but extensive experience with school districts in doing job studies. They're looking at your compensation, they're looking at how your job compares in that compensation with other jobs in the district and outside in the market. So they do that kind of comparison. They make sure that what we think your job is actually what you're doing. So we look at job descriptions and all kinds of things and then make those comparisons within the district as well as outside. And that is a good thing. That's why you're all smiling, right? Because you know that this is exciting and it's a good thing to be doing. Because does your work change over time? Barbara, has your work evolved over time? Oh yeah, I know that it has. And others of you could say the same thing. So we want to make sure in that effort of always, as we're evolving, as things change and update, that we are making sure that our compensation is accurate, that it's within a range that is defensible and supportable, that we can say you're within a range that is equitable both within the district and outside. And so I'm going to, in just a minute, introduce you to Dr. Linda Rescio, who is from Evergreen Solutions. And she's going to talk to you about, first of all, just give you a little overview about what that means that I've just talked to you about, and encourage you to complete a questionnaire and what the process is to do that. So in other words, the work is only as accurate as your contribution to it. If you say things, this is what I do, and contribute to that and participate in the process, it makes the entire process more accurate and more viable because you are the ones who know. I don't know what you do all day, just like you don't know for sure what I do all day. And do you think that all the time? What does the superintendent possibly do all day? Right? That's why I used to say as a classroom teacher, what does the principal do all day long that could possibly keep him busy? And when I was a principal, I thought, what do those dang curriculum people do all day long that could keep them busy? And when I was a curriculum person, I thought, what could that superintendent be doing all day long to keep him busy? And now I'm going to tell you, the superintendent thinks about all day long, if I was only back in my own classroom, what a joy that would be. Right? So that's what happens through this evolution. So today, Dr. Rescio will talk to you about that questionnaire and how you can participate, and I encourage you to do it. Your participation makes the process more accurate, helps us to do the kind of work we want to do. Agreed? Yeah, all right, thank you. Dr. Rescio, this is part of our team, and you'll love them. Welcome.
Fantastic, great.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Superintendent. That was a fantastic introduction. He told you all you need to know. I can leave. No, seriously. But on behalf of Evergreen Solutions, and I've been told my mic is not on. On behalf of Evergreen Solutions, I just want to say we are overjoyed to be a part of this study. We're overjoyed to conduct this study, and we look forward to working with you over the next several months to make this a win-win situation for you guys here in Davis School District. A little bit about us. Evergreen Solutions is a national public sector consulting firm. We primarily work in counties, cities, school districts, colleges, and universities. We have conducted over 275 studies like this since our inception. We have extensive human resources experience. We have done many studies in HR, including pay and classification studies. We've also done evaluations or created evaluation systems. And again, for any organization that's designated public sector is really where our expertise lies. What are the goals for this study? We have three primary goals, and the superintendent well articulated them. To review your current classification and compensation system, to ensure internal equity. We will survey peer school districts in Utah to figure out what do they pay folks with your credentials. And we will develop recommendations to your school system with a pay and classification study that is both internally and externally equitable. Okay? It's only as good as your participation, especially if you're in a unique job classification, because we only can get it from you if you're the only one in that classification. How can you participate? Employee participation. You and your colleagues can attend a session like this. We are doing 14 of these sessions throughout Davis School District this week. Some employees have been invited to attend a focus group. That's another way that we'll be hearing from employees. Then we'll be asking you, as most of this presentation is about, to complete a JAT, Job Assessment Tool. Supervisors will be asked to complete a Management Issues Tool. Okay, if you think an employee under you is misclassified, is not paid according to what you think the standard is, let us know that as a supervisor. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the overview of the JAT. First of all, it's designed to get information about your job, not anybody else's job, your job, how you feel about what you're doing. It's critical to a successful study that you complete this. JATs are used to, 1, determine how your work is organized, 2, determine whether your Davis School District is paying you fairly and competitively, 3rd, to recommend an appropriate pay level and range for your job, and 4th, to design a new system that is fair and equitable. The JAT completion. You can complete this instrument for a 2-week period. On Friday this week, you're going to be getting an email from us, and that email will assign you a username and a password. Username and password. Again, you have 2 weeks to complete it. Supervisors review after you as an employee complete the JAT. There is a 1-week window for your supervisor to review what you wrote. That's starting May 27th. Can they change what you wrote? No. We're going to show you how they can provide a comment with their either agreeing or disagreeing with what you wrote. The content of the JAT. First, a job overview. The essential functions of your job. The education and work experience required for your job. Job compensatory factors. We have 5 of those. Those are the most important parts of this questionnaire. Financial responsibilities, equipment and machinery. Do you use any? And physical abilities. Next is our login slide. Step 1, getting started. Remember, you're going to have an email. We want you first to, there's a pull-down menu for the organization. So you just pull down, select Davis School District. Username, password, that might be populated for you. If not, you have that information in your email. Okay, remember your user and password information, because if you save this and you want to go back to it a week later, it's going to ask you for the same user and password. You're now going to the main menu. The main menu, again, all you need to worry about right now is the survey. So you'll click on survey. If you're a supervisor and it's 2 weeks later, you click on supervisor's review. If you're a supervisor that has issues as a manager with your employee and their classification, you would click on the management issues tool. 3 places to click on. But let's pretend now we're doing the survey for employees. Okay, the main menu, or the JAT menu. There are several sections of the JAT. The first is basic job-related information. You enter the section. When you're done with the section, you press section completed. Job description and responsibilities. Enter when you're ready to start, section completed. And so on. Each of those sessions you will enter and you'll click session completed when you're done. You can exit this survey as any time by pressing the exit button. When you exit, as long as you save and continue, you can go back for that 2-week period. Some of you might prefer to do a hard copy and then put it online. If you do, there's a printer-friendly version of this. You can just click here if you want to print it, and you can complete it at your leisure in hard copy and then go online and fill in your answers. Step 4, basic job information, a very simple screen. On this one, you put your name, your email address, and your phone and phone extension. You put your job title only, your official work week in hours. We all know that as professionals, a lot of times we work greater than 40 hours. But if the official work week is 40 hours, you put 40 hours. Status, are you full-time or part-time? Save and continue. 2, section 2 is the job description. We'd like you to put your supervisor's name. Who is your immediate supervisor? Just put the person's name in there. Then would you please put a couple of sentences on your job description? Then who do you supervise? If you're a supervisor, a couple of the gentlemen back here, if you supervise people, give us the number. Supervise people directly, full-time, or part-time. Supervise people indirectly, full-time, and part-time. We give you the definition of what we consider to be a supervisor direct and a supervisor indirect. Okay? Section 3 will take you a few more minutes. What we're asking you to do in section 3 is to list your major job functions over the course of a year. We're giving you 20 spaces to do that. So if you have 30, just give us the top 20. After you give us you only have to give 5, so you can go anywhere from 5 to 20. You only have to give 5. And then in column 3, you're going to choose the frequency. Whatever you gave us, do you do it annually? Do you do it weekly? Do you do it hourly? What's the frequency that you do that particular task? And what percentage of your time do you guesstimate you spend on that task? You are a secretary, you answer phones 20% of the time. Put 20% down. That column, whether you give us 5 or you give us 20, should add up to 100%. Then, after you've listed all that you want us to know about, then in column 2, choose the top 5 functions. Although you give us 20, what are the most important? What are the most important functions in your opinion? Check 5 that are most important. Section 4, type of work. Are you a clerical, manual worker? Are you a professional, administrator? Check the one that best describes your position title. Section 5, education. This is not your education. This is if you leave this school district next week. What type of education should the person they hire have? Okay? What's needed to fill your job, in your opinion, is up to and including some high school diploma, some college, master's degree, doctorate, whatever you think is needed. Check 1. List any licenses, certification that would be required, that should be required for your job. And then in the second box, list those that you think, well, this is preferred, but it shouldn't be required. So what should be required? What should be preferred for your job? Section 6 is just like Section 5. It is your experience, not your experience, but the experience needed for your position. If you left next week and they hired somebody else, what is your recommendation in terms of experience? No experience required to do my job. 6 months experience should be required, or over 10 years should be required. What's the best match, in your opinion? Okay? And then, after you give us the best match, in your opinion, do you think applicants should be able to substitute education for experience? Yes or no? And then the second, do you think applicants should be able to substitute work experience for education? Just the opposite, those 2 questions. Your opinion. All right, starting in Section 7 are the 5 compensatory factors, the most important part of the JAT, starting with leadership. And all 5 pages are going to be completed very similarly. First thing you have to do is read all the answers. Don't check the one you see, the first one that comes to on the page. Read all of them, and as you go down the list, they become more complex. But you might say, well, a couple apply. What we want you to do here, give us one closest match in your position, in your opinion, excuse me, and then all that apply. Check all that apply. The closest match in the first column, check all that apply in the second column. And on the bottom in the blank space, give us the reason you checked what you did. Why did you answer the way you did in a sentence or 2? The second compensatory factor is working conditions. Read through them all first. Check closest match, check all that apply, and give us the reason why you selected what you did. The fourth compensatory factor is complexity. Very simple. I perform specific manual or clerical tasks. Very simple. 2, I develop policies, long-range plans, and allocate funds. Read them all, check the closest match, check all that apply, give us the reason why you checked what you did. Decision making. Check the closest match, check all that apply, give us the reason you selected what you did. The last compensatory factor is relationships. Starting with I work primary alone. I work with less than 10 coworkers who are mostly engaged in the same activities as me. I oversee and manage more than 2 employees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Give us the reason why you checked what you did. Okay, that's it on the 5 compensatory factors, and we're now going to financial responsibilities. Check all that apply. You've never seen a budget, you have no input into the budget, etc. It doesn't apply to my job. First check. Then if you're responsible for purchase orders, if you're responsible for overseeing a budget of a unit, if you manage a budget for a unit, again, check those that apply and give us the reason why you did. 13 is equipment and machinery, and as I said before, there are very few employees that wouldn't check I use a computer. Okay, that is a piece of equipment, and you might use it for data entry, you might use it for data processing, whatever you use it for. You might have to use repair or use light equipment such as power tools. Check all that apply and give us the reason why you checked what you did. Section 14, physical abilities. What physical abilities, in your opinion, are required for your job? If you're a bus driver and the supervisor of transportation reads this and the bus driver said he doesn't need to see, then we might have a problem. The cafeteria manager sees that one of the cafeteria workers says she doesn't need to taste anything and the kids are leaving. No wonder the kids are leaving the cafeteria. They don't like the food and the cafeteria workers don't have to taste. I think you got the picture. Check all that apply. Give us the reason why you checked what you did. Enter each section. Enter each of the main sections. You enter if you're not finished, you save and continue for each section. If you think, I'm done with this job responsibilities section, I'll never want to go back here, you say section completed, only when you're finished. Okay, I taught you about printing a user-friendly, printer-friendly version of this instrument if you wanted to jot down your notes and then put it online. You can also print at the end. If you completed it all, you're all done, and you want to know what you said. Maybe when the study comes out 6 months from now, you want to read and see how it compares to what you said. Print yourself a user-friendly version and you'll have it, okay, in your file, and you can always look back at it. If you get locked out, find us at jat@consultevergreen.com, or you may call us. You'll see our phone number on the last page of this presentation. Now we're going to take a few minutes to talk about this supervisor's review. A supervisor cannot change your answer. A supervisor cannot change your answer. They can only agree or disagree with what you said. The supervisor's review starts after the 2 weeks of you completing this. So they start on May 27th, and they have 1 week to review the JATs of the folks under them. Okay, let's see what they can do. This is their review. Okay, let's assume I'm supervising James Anderson. Okay, I'm going to review James Anderson's, each of his sections, and after I review, I'm going to save and lock. James Anderson is going to give his email, phone number, job title, very simplistic, agree or disagree. And you can see on the bottom there, right at the bottom here, you could agree or disagree. If you disagree, give a comment. This is that other tool. It's called the Management Issues tool. It will not be completed by all managers. It only is completed by the managers that have a classification issue or compensation issue with 1 or more employees under them. They'll let us know what the issue is, if the person's misclassified, what do they think the person should be classified as, and why. If a person is not paid at an appropriate level, if you're recommending a new pay grade, they would respond accordingly. The person should be paid at X, give us the reason why. Any other issues? Again, this is specific to a job, an employee under you. And that, folks, is the end of the presentation. And again, I want to reiterate the superintendent's comments. This is an exciting time for Davis School District. It's a good chance for you to talk about your job description, what it should be, and for us to look at your salary and give you comparability statistics and see if you're out of line or how you're out of line, and also in terms of your classification. So we really do need your participation, and thank you for coming this afternoon. Appreciate it.